Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my Plants vs Zombies playthrough. In the last episode, let's just say I came up with the cursed ever strat to beta level just to show off what the garlic did. This episode, I'm going to hop straight back into adventure mode, of course, and this will be the penultimate episode of adventure mode, I'm fairly certain. Right, looks like we've got ladders, bungees, and catapults. So the umbrella leaf is a defensive plant again, but it's not like the tall nut or pumpkin. It has a completely different use. It blocks the projectiles that the zombies will shoot at you. And actually, I don't need to use a coffee bean that time because the only thing that has metal are the ladder zombies, so we'll just try something different. I'm not going to use tall nuts again. Thought I forgot flower pots then. But yeah, we're getting very close to finishing adventure mode now, which is kind of sad that it's coming to an end. But there's still a lot more to do at least, so I can look forward to that. And I know I haven't mentioned or done any conversation topics for a while. I've just given up. Recording so many of these in one day is very difficult to think of conversation topics, and I tried my best, and I also keep repeating myself as well from what I've noticed, so we're just going to talk about the game now for the last couple of episodes, and then I won't be recording the mini-games for, well, in another day, so I can think of some conversation topics, because I want to practice mini games as it's been a while since I've done them. And I believe at the end of this level we unlock what I consider the most useless plant in the whole game. Which means I'll have to show it off. Right, umbrella leaves basically will protect all of these tiles. There's no way I get rid of that. So the umbrella leaf is a hard counter to both the catapult zombie and the bungee zombies. And it does its job quite well, I'd say. I believe the next level as well is when we get the most threatening zombie in the whole game. Well, for adventure mode that is. Not including the bonus zombies that you don't usually see. Oh, you can go and try. Yeah, that's what umbrella leaf does. One other thing about this game as well. If there's anyone who's thinking about getting this game, I'd highly recommend you do. Just try to avoid the mobile version if you can, but obviously if you don't have a way to avoid the mobile version, just go for it. I will warn you though, I think I mentioned this in a previous part that the mobile version is probably the weakest version. I can't even remember if it's free or not. I think it is, but I might be mistaken. But you do have to grind a fair bit more in the mobile version than you do in the regular versions of the game. The DS version was the most different from the other ones, just because it tried to use the touchscreen that the DS has, especially some of the mini-games. Okay, you can try and steal that same thing now if you want. This is basically all I'm going to need in terms of defense. I just need to start putting pumpkins around everything. Again, that's not going to do anything. You can try. Okay, trying to protect the umbrella leaf rose as well. Yeah, he wouldn't have even got there even if there was a pumpkin, so that was very bad luck for the ladder zombie. And that one's probably going to have better luck now that I've put the... Yeah, he did. Fine though. This is going to be a longer episode, I reckon, just because I want to complete level 5-9 in this one. And there's a catapult zombie, that's not going to really do anything as well. Gosh, all the ladder zombies are spawning in the same row. You do have to be careful with ladder zombies as well, because you just keep putting a pumpkin in every single row, or every single plant that they put a ladder on. They're just eventually going to climb all the way over until they get to the lawnmower, which you basically just give them the free pass. Okay, they really like this row. I'm just going to blow those up with a jalapeno. Oh, perfect. And, well, last wave, which means I'm guaranteed to now win because the lawnmowers. Well, even those weren't safe. Gosh, poor umbrella leaf. And lastly, we've got Mr. Basketball over there. Oh, and there's a Conehead still alive. Yep, the most useless plant in the whole game. Marigold, everyone. What does it do? It gives you money. Which sounds great. If it wasn't for the fact that, well, there's much easier ways to grind. And oh, there it is. There's the most strongest zombie in the game, the Gargantua. These things are ruthless. And we don't need to worry about umbrella leaves. Don't have to worry about... In fact, I don't even need to use those. You can't even hypnotise a Gargantua as well. Honestly, I think this setup is good to go. And yes, I'm showing what the Marigold does. It's an absolutely terrible plant though, and I do not recommend using it at all. It's by far the worst one. This level's going to be rough because I want to show off how it works. And yes, I'm using the coffee bean for one plant, just so I can slow down the Gargantuas. And if that's not bad enough, look how slow it generates. So yeah, it sounds like a good idea on paper, but in reality it's really not that good. And yes, it can give you gold coins, which can be really nice, but I would rather have more sunflowers, so that's what Marigold does. Really not a good plant. Do not recommend using this one. Unless you are that desperate to grind money. If you're playing mobile version, then sure, go for it, I guess. Well, this one's been quite nice to me, because that's the second gold coin it's given me. I think the first Gargantua does not spawn until you're halfway through the second wave. Or, sorry, halfway past the first wave, so in between waves 1 and 2. Of course, I could easily be mistaken. I think that was the same one again. Yeah, I've gained about 300 coins so far. Oh, there it is. Right, Gargantuas have a lot of health, and they also have a secondary gimmick, which is releasing an imp that they have on their back. Gargantuars cannot be killed by just the squash. When they are low health, they will throw the imp, and it will go straight to the end. Right before your second, or literally it went all the way to where our marigolds were. They're very scary, and you pretty much need to use a squash and another plant on them to get rid of them. And always use a jalapeno last, otherwise your imp, or otherwise the imp that they throw will just get straight over to the other side. They are a very, very dangerous zombie, and if you do not know how to deal with them, they can cause you instantly to lose a lawnmower. They have, I think, 2,000 health, and a squash does 1,500, and a jalapeno also does 1,500. So, do not take them lightly. They are very strong enemies, and you'll be seeing them a lot on your... If you play Adventure Mode a second time, they will be there all the time. I'm just going to load up these ice shrooms because I know we're going to get a second Gargantua at some point. And the game can also spawn them in the same row if you're unlucky. I think there's 2 at the final wave, so I will need to slow them down as much as possible. That cone here, I'm going to have to save my squash and my jalapeno. I'm just going to let the cone here eat the cabbage pod and replace it. Okay, so it's lost about 1/3 of its health. Nice. I gained about 1,000 gold from the marigold, so as you can see, that's roughly how much you get. We're up to 18 minutes, but I want to get to level 510, so I want to finish this last one. And this level, oh boy, this one is rough. We also got melon pulp, which, very, very strong plant. We have pretty much got everything in this level, so you got to pick your plants carefully on this one. There's no point in me using a tall nut and a walnut, or tall nut and a pumpkin, because the zombies are just going to get rid of them all the time. The melon pole is one of my favourites. It's very expensive, but unlike the free Peter, it's actually much better because it does splash damage to other zombies, so you can basically just get a load of the zombies defeated in the same area. This is going to be a slightly longer episode, but I'm sure no one's going to mind. Just like the first episode of this playthrough was a lot shorter, it was only 12 minutes. So, with this being the last one of these levels, I'm gonna miss them, I cannot lie, but the mini-games are still fun, and I quite often replayed them, especially on the mobile version where I had to grind for so many coins just to complete the level. Well, not complete the level. The main issue with the mobile version, as I mentioned before, is the mini-games only come in threes, and they cost 50,000 coins to buy one set of mini-games, which is just horribly made. Which is why I don't like the mobile version, because they turned a game that's meant to be fun and relaxing to just grindy. Put a melon pulp down. Now melon pulps will only shoot as well when there's a zombie in the row. They do a lot of damage. They do, I think, the equivalent of 5p's worth of damage. So, do not underestimate them. They are very powerful. Which is why I'm going to try and protect them as quickly as I can. See how that cone head is just getting completely and utterly obliterated. Okay, first wave. I'm also getting a bit tired as well, so I'm kind of glad that I'm nearly done with adventure mode, because I spent nearly 7 hours, not that long. When did I start? 10:30. So 5 hours I've spent recording, which is quite a while. I think the bucket head will still make it though. But I did get lucky. I really need to get more on that top row. Ideally another melon. Yeah, Jack in the Box zombies can't really do anything. Gosh, well that's I think we get a Gargantua in this next wave, but I should hopefully be fine. Squash will recharge, hopefully by then. Not my sunflower. Wool plants to try and take away. It took one of the first ones. yeah, the nice thing about this game as well is when I was doing my practice fail, both of my friends who I was on chat with at the time just love watching this game. And it's just one of those games where pretty much it's very hard for someone to like or to dislike the first one. Just because it's a well-made game and pretty much paved the way for most tower defense games. And it's games like this that are just super enjoyable, even if they're simple now compared to when they first came out. Gotta get rid of that. Which means I'm now gonna get a Gargantua in this row. Well, I'm getting at least one because I saw them in the zombie introduction. I did get another diamond, so that's pretty cool. Okay, just gonna get rid of that. Pretty much got this anyways. And it's another note. The last one, well, technically not. Homeowner. You have failed to submit to our rightful claim. Be advised that unless you comply, we will be forced to take extreme action. Please remit your home and brains to us forthwith. Sincerely, Dr. Edgar Zomboss. Well, that's a bit ominous, isn't it? But at least his writing is nice. But, in the next episode, we're going to be taking down the final boss of Plants vs. Zombies. See you guys then.